With these devices, you can save up to 22% on heating costs and your apartment will be noticeably warmer. In this video, I'll show you exactly how these radiator fans work and what you absolutely need to pay attention to. Because installing them is really incredibly easy. All you have to do is take these devices out of the packaging, and thanks to these magnets, they now fit on almost any radiator. You can even remove the magnets and flip them over so that they also fit under much narrower radiators. All you have to do now is hold them under the radiator and then you can adjust them a little bit. You can also push them in a bit further if the radiator is wide enough so that you really can't see them from the outside at all. In the next step, you'll always find two slots on one side of these fans. One is for the power supply and the other is for this temperature sensor. On the other side of the fans, you'll find another slot for a connector because you can link several of them together. Depending on how long your radiator is, you can connect as many as you need to improve the overall heating performance. You simply need to attach the temperature sensor at the height of the thermostat using the magnet. To better explain how it works, I've just attached it to the outside of the radiator for now. So, we plug in the power supply and then you need to understand how exactly such a radiator works because we turn everything on at the top. This allows hot air to flow into the radiator, passing through the individual fins and gradually cooling down as it moves downward before the cold water is carried away at the bottom through the return flow. Now the whole system draws in air. That means cold air enters the radiator from below, is drawn in here, heats up inside the radiator itself, and then rises and exits at the top as warm air. This process continues as the air moves across the entire room up to the ceiling, along the back wall, falls back down to the floor, and is drawn in again at the bottom. This creates a perfect circulation cycle. However, it often happens that this cycle is interrupted, for example, because windowsills are too close above the radiators, preventing the air from circulating properly and causing it to get trapped a bit at the top. We often have the same problem when, for example, long curtains or even furniture are placed in front of the radiator. But especially in smaller apartments, it's not always possible to avoid this. The problem with this is that the air circulates much more slowly through the room, which means it takes much longer for the apartment to actually get warm. And that's exactly where these fan heaters come into play. Thanks to the temperature sensor, they only turn on once 33 degrees are reached at the back of the thermostat, so only when you've actually switched on the heating. As soon as the temperature drops to just 25 degrees, they automatically switch off again. This means the power consumption is very low and is supposed to be around €1 per year. And they're also very quiet, as you can hear here. So you'll hardly notice them at all. They use hardly any electricity, but you can save up to 22% on energy costs, and on top of that, your place will get warm up to twice as fast simply because the air can circulate much better. It's drawn in at the bottom and blown out at the top. You can find a link to these radiator fans in my video description or in the pinned comment. To further improve your heating performance, you should also clean your radiator from the inside regularly, because dust can prevent the heat from being released quickly. I'll show you how to clean it from the inside in the video you now see on the screen. Click on it directly and check it out.